Good morning, everybody. Neely Murray is my name. Firstly, up front, apologies that I was late this morning. I came up from Wexford and I had a flat tire in Bray and I've never changed a tire before. So I think you know probably what happened next. Anyway, as Aidan said, I am the Principal Officer in Housing Provision Responsibility, essentially for the rollout of the Housing Assistance Programme. I also have other responsibilities in the area essentially of delivering social housing into the private rental sector. I suppose, okay. So, as Aidan said very clearly, HAP is a big part of our vision in terms of the delivery of social housing up until 2020. For local authorities, it's been on the horizon, I suppose, essentially for the last 20 to 30 years. And that is moving really the provision of support for people who are living in the private rental sector into the housing authorities. Essentially a housing service that you can provide people with a social housing need. The vision is that it will essentially replace rent supplement for those who have a long-term social housing need. Rent supplement will continue to be provided as an income support towards housing for people who have a short-term housing need. So if their income changes because of their employment, it will continue to be paid. The other piece about HAP is essentially it's by moving this into the housing sphere, it is intended to remove any barriers that there might be in terms of people as an activation measure. So essentially facilitating people to gain employment while staying in the house that they're living in, and it removes any potential disincentives, I suppose, towards increasing their income essentially. It is a new and significant new piece of work, we say, for local authorities and for housing authorities, and therefore the rollout is being handled in a particular way to ensure that it meets the needs of the people, that it's there to deliver, but equally that it doesn't cause any risks or difficulties for local authorities. And in that context then, the pilot essentially of the rollout of HAP commenced last year. Today there are 2,135 tenancies being supported across 7 and 8 local authorities as a result of the pilot. So for those 2,100 people it's been a success. Just to tell you who those pilot authorities are, it's Cork County, Kilkenny, Limerick, Louth, Monaghan, South Dublin, Waterford, and most recently Donegal from the 25th of May. There's also a pilot being operated in the Dublin local authorities. It's the homeless HAP pilot. There are 20 families that have come across on HAP over the last few weeks as a result of that pilot. The operation of HAP essentially is that those, as I say, who come into local authorities for housing needs assessment, for those pilot authorities, HAP is a viable service that they can offer those people. The individuals themselves find the accommodation themselves in the private rental market, and the local authority then will pay the rent directly to the landlord, and the individual pays a differential rent to the local authority. The rent limits the caps along those are mirrored with the existing rent supplement caps, which are managed and operated by the Department of Social Protection. In the Dublin region, in the homelessness pilot, there is statutory authority for the rent caps to be increased to up to 20%, and that's in recognition of the acute need of the individuals who are using HAP and also of the context of the rental market in Dublin. So, as Aidan pointed out, the target for the end of the year is 8,400 tenancies. And as of today, as I say, we have 2,135. So we have quite a way to go. That said, we have a plan to roll out to a further 6 local authorities. Donegal came on board on the 25th of May. Offaly will come on board actually from Monday, that's the 15th of June. And we have a further set of 5 local authorities, so that's Carlow, Cork City, Tipperary and Clare will all come on board on the 29th of June. So we're quite confident that we can make a really strong effort towards those targets. There'll be a period, I suppose, of over the summer we'll be working towards another set of local authorities, and we're talking to them at the moment. The target is challenging, particularly when you look at the rental market overall, but it is operating successfully for those local authorities that are operating at the moment. We will continue the rollout. At the moment, Limerick City and County Council essentially is operating as what we would refer to as a transactional hub. And that means that the local authorities, so your local authorities will be delivering the service, and Limerick City and County Council are offering a transactional service. So they carry out the functions, the back end functions essentially for you, and that's literally making the payments directly to the landlord and ensuring all of the admin work is behind that. That's operating really, really successfully. And as a pilot, the operation of the pilot overall has allowed us to really see what's working, see the kind of issues that are coming up that we need to tweak and take account of. And in that context, the operation of the hub in Limerick has been a really, really good learning opportunity for us. The ultimate objective, as Aidan said, is that we would have, between 2018 and 2020, there would be 41,000 tenancies being supported by HAP. And ultimately, together with the rental accommodation scheme, there would be 75,000 tenancies being supported in the private rental sector. That is challenging. We know that the rental accommodation scheme continues to be a viable housing service for local authorities. It will, however, be, our targets are static in a sense over the period of the strategy, in recognition of the fact that HAP is coming on stream and will ultimately replace that as a service for local authorities. That's pretty much from a HAP perspective. I'm happy to take any of your questions afterwards, but I might hand over to Siobhan on the reform side.
Thank you, Nina.